Why do some CEOs command teams that would walk through fire, while others face mass resignations and internal leaks the moment a competitor offers a 10% raise? Today, we are breaking down the Machiavellian guide to executive strategy and the psychology of power. We are exploring the brutal reality of corporate retention and why you should never, under any circumstances, ask for loyalty. Most leaders believe the corporate lie that loyalty is a character trait. They think that if they hire good people, those people will naturally be loyal to the company and the mission. They won't. In the high-stakes world of executive leadership, loyalty is not a moral virtue, it is a market commodity. If you are asking your team for loyalty, you have already lost your leverage. You are essentially begging for a gift that your subordinates are not incentivized to give. The greatest masters of human management weren't HR directors. They were political realists who understood that the only unbreakable bond is the one forged in self-interest. If you want to stop being blindsided by unexpected resignations and start building a team that is structurally incapable of betrayal, you are in the right place. Subscribe to the Sovereign Executive because strategy is a weapon, and we are here to help you master it. I have spent decades watching brilliant executives get completely blindsided by their most trusted lieutenants. I've seen founders lose their companies because they confused friendship with fealty. I've watched C-suite leaders try to buy loyalty with culture days, free lunches, and open-door policies, only to realize that their best talent had been interviewing with rivals for months. Once you realize that your office is not a family, but a collection of private interests temporarily aligned, the betrayals stop being emotional and start being predictable. When you stop asking for loyalty and start engineering it, you finally move from being a manager to being a sovereign executive. To understand the architecture of modern power, we must look at the work of Niccolo Machiavelli. In the 16th century, Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to be mean. He wrote it to be accurate. He looked at the chaos of the Italian city-states and realized that the most dangerous thing a leader could do was rely on the goodwill of others. Machiavelli's most famous question, whether it is better to be loved or feared, is often misunderstood by amateur strategists. He concluded that while one should ideally be both, if you must choose, it is far safer to be feared. Why? Because love is a bond of obligation, which men, being the miserable creatures they are, break when it is to their advantage. But fear is strengthened by a dread of punishment, which never leaves you. In a modern corporate setting, fear doesn't mean physical intimidation. That is the tool of the weak. In the boardroom, fear means the fear of loss. It means the fear of being excluded from the victory, the fear of losing the leverage that only you provide, and the fear of being left behind while you move toward dominance. Machiavelli warned against the use of mercenaries, soldiers who fight for pay but have no stake in the outcome. In today's economy, 90% of your workforce are mercenaries. They are there for the paycheck and the resume bullet point. If you ask a mercenary for loyalty, they will smile and give you a hollow promise. But the moment the tide of war turns, the moment your stock price dips or a rival offers more equity, they will vanish. So what was Machiavelli's secret to keeping the mercenaries in line? He realized that loyalty is a byproduct of dependency. If a subordinate believes they can achieve their own goals better without you, they are already your rival. If they believe their only path to the top is through you, they are your most loyal ally. This is not about being nice, it is about being the primary source of their future success. Imagine two executives. One leads with empathy and tries to make everyone feel like a family. They avoid difficult conversations and hope that their kindness will be repaid with loyalty. The other executive is transparent, demanding, and ruthlessly focused on winning. They don't ask for loyalty. They create a system where the team's wealth and status are mathematically tied to the executive's own success. Which leader do you think survives a hostile board meeting? Which team do you think works until midnight to solve a crisis? The answer is the one who understands that people don't follow leaders, they follow their own best interests. In the modern corporate world, this Machiavellian principle is known as strategic indispensability. Amateur managers try to make their team members well-rounded. They want everyone to be able to do everything. This is a fatal strategic error. If your team members are interchangeable, you have no leverage over them, and they have no deep dependency on you. The Machiavellian move is to build a team of specialists whose unique talents are only magnified when they are combined under your specific leadership. You become the general who understands how to deploy each specialist. Without you, they are just scattered assets. With you, they are an empire. Think about your own department for a second. If you left tomorrow, would your team be able to continue exactly as they are? If the answer is yes, you are not a sovereign executive, you are an administrator, and administrators are the first to be replaced. You must ensure that the spoils of war, the bonuses, the promotions, the access to high-level networks pass through you. Here is what standard management training gets completely wrong. They tell you that transparency is always a virtue. Historically speaking, absolute transparency is a strategic liability. Machiavelli knew that a leader must always maintain a degree of mystery. If your team knows every move you are going to make, they can begin to calculate their own moves independently of you. True loyalty is often found in the void. By keeping your ultimate strategic vision slightly out of reach, you ensure that your team remains focused on your direction, waiting for the next signal. The brutal truth is that company culture is often just a polite way of saying low-cost compliance. Managers use culture to try and get employees to work harder for less money. High-level talent sees through this immediately. They don't want culture, they want capital. They don't want a mission statement, they want a path to power. If you want the loyalty of elite performers, stop talking about values and start talking about value. Here is the darkest part of this strategy. To be truly loyal to your own career, you must be prepared for the disloyalty of others. Machiavelli taught that a prince should always be prepared for the change in the wind. In your office, this means never being surprised by a resignation. You should have a succession plan for every single person on your team, including your favorites. The moment you believe someone is unreplaceable, you have given them the power to destroy you. The sovereign executive is never a hostage to their own team. If you are leading a project or managing a department right now, here is exactly how you apply the Machiavellian loyalty framework tomorrow morning. Step 1. Map the incentives. Take a piece of paper and write down every member of your team. Next to their name, write down what they actually want. Not what they said in their interview, but what they want. Is it money? Is it a specific title? Is it the ability to work from home? If you don't know the answer, you don't own their loyalty. Step 2. Create the golden handcuffs. Tie their rewards to long-term outcomes that require your continued presence. This could be multi-year vesting schedules, but more effectively, it is relationship capital. If they know that their best career opportunities come from the people only you can introduce them to, they will stay. Step 3. Practice controlled distance. Stop trying to be their friend. Machiavelli was clear. The prince who tries to be one of the people eventually loses the respect of the people. Maintain a professional distance that signals authority. You are the commander, not the peer. When you provide a reward from this position of distance, it carries 10 times the psychological weight. The executive who asks for loyalty is showing their hand. They are signaling that they lack the structural power to keep people in line. The sovereign executive never asks. They look at the board, they see where the interests lie, and they arrange the pieces so that staying loyal is the only logical choice for everyone involved. So, the blueprint for Machiavellian loyalty comes down to 3 laws. First, loyalty follows interest. If the interest changes, the loyalty will vanish. Second, dependency is the real security. Make yourself the gatekeeper to what they desire most. Third, eliminate the mercenary mindset. Either turn your mercenaries into stakeholders by giving them a piece of the victory, or be prepared to replace them the moment the wind shifts. If you learned something today that gives you a tactical edge, subscribe. Next time, we're breaking down the Icarus strategy, how to identify when a high-performing subordinate is becoming a threat to your position, and how to gently clip their wings before they fly high enough to burn your department down. Don't just lead, rule. We'll see you in the next one.